We are back for day 3 of the NFL draft. The San Francisco 49ers are, I believe, on the clock as we sit right now. So we are going to see who they are going to take with their first pick in the 4th round, pick 107 after Houston. So the pick is in for the Houston Texans, which confirms the San Francisco 49ers are on the clock. Any wish list that you guys have for the 49ers to draft in the 4th round, go ahead and drop them here. The 49ers have taken 3 players. Obviously, there have been a bunch of trade backs. They take Stribling, Romello Height, and Kalon Black. Who are they going to add? Is it going to be an offensive lineman? Maybe Bow Stevens. It's going to be interesting to see who they take. Do they go O-line? Maybe. Do they go Jalen Kilgore? We'll see. Something tells me it's going to be a player that we probably least expect, but you never know. Maybe the San Francisco 49ers go tight end as well. Maybe Oscar Delp. No, Oscar Delp, excuse me, already was drafted by the Saints. My mistake. Great draft by them. That leaves Jack Endries left, kind of in that available tier. Let's see who they get. But for offensive line, for me, it would be Stevens out of Iowa. I think I've mocked him to the Niners probably at least 2 times, and I don't try to double up picks in my mocks just because I like to play out different scenarios. But maybe he's an option. And again, is it going to be O-line? No clue. Is it going to be safety? Is it going to be tight end? According to NFL, Jalen Kilgore out of South Carolina is the best available player. I'm trying to see who else could be available. This could be if they potentially want to go center here. You've got a majority of the top centers available. Let's see who else we have on the board. All right, the pick is in for the 49ers. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. Make sure you smash that like button for me. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. Let's see who the San Francisco 49ers are going to get. All right. I would be shocked if they went with someone like Harold Perkins here. Let's see. I'd be surprised if they doubled up on wide receiver. I mean, this does feel like it should be an offensive lineman. Maybe someone like Travis Burke, but he's massive. All right. Waiting for the pick to be announced. The San Francisco 49ers, 4th round, pick 107 in the chamber. We're about to find out right now. Someone said in the chat, punter incoming. I hope not, but this is prime territory for a specialist for this regime if they do decide to go that route. I think they would be playing with fire a little bit if that's what they decided to do here. Obviously, just based on the perception of uh, the draft from the fan base, which I will say I do think, while I understand some of the frustration, I do think some of it could be a little overblown, but I understand it. I get it, and I have frustration as well. I think one of the things that we're challenging with and dealing with is value versus perception. I think the 49ers got some decent players. I just don't love the value in which they took them. So I understand the frustration involved because, as we've seen historically with the San Francisco 49ers, when they typically, at least when they reach against consensus, they don't have a great track record. So I understand, also part of the consideration for why people are upset, and I understand that, is that they don't have the benefit of the doubt. That's the problem with the perceived reaches, is when they have reached against consensus in the past. I think they have a tendency of not turning out. So that's where I think a lot of the frustration stems from, which I understand as well. So let's see. Let's see who they go with. Still waiting for the pick to be announced. The 49ers have had a lot of success in these later rounds. We talked about it. When you look at Deommodore Lenoir, George Kittle, Dre Greenlaw, all fifth-round draft picks. Juwan Jennings was a seventh-rounder. Brock Purdy, seventh-rounder. You know the vibes. D-Buck says, we back for day 3 of trauma bonding as Niner fans. All right. The pick is coming out. Oh, is it going to be announced through the... Okay. The San Francisco 49ers take a defensive tackle, Grayson Halton, out of Oklahoma. I probably wasn't expecting them to go here from a positional need standpoint. However, Holton is a solid defensive tackle prospect. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Osa Odigizua in the sense of quick first step, get off, for interior defensive tackle, kind of in the mold of like a CJ West. So this is a guy who is going to be able to create a lot of pressure on the interior, be able to collapse the pocket from the inside, which the 49ers also need. They go defensive tackle. Again, before offensive line, so I'm not surprised by that. The 49ers clearly value one side of the line of scrimmage much more than the other. And so they continue to add picks to the defensive line. So the San Francisco 49ers select Oklahoma DT Grayson Halton. Sorry, I'm making a post if you haven't noticed, at pick 107. All right. I haven't even been able to look at the chat, so I have no idea how you guys are reacting to this. So give me 1 second. Let me get this posted, and then let's see. So there was a couple mocks that I did where I did have the 49ers targeting a mid-round defensive tackle. Caleb Proctor was actually the guy that I really liked and was really hoping for um, later on in the draft. He actually just went, I think, to the Arizona a couple picks ahead. I really liked Caleb Proctor. But Grayson Halton is a similar style defensive tackle. So I'm all right with it. I again, I don't think this is too much of a reach. I think this is an appropriate value for the pick. Um, you're looking at a 6'3", 293-pound interior defensive tackle. He's a California kid coming out of San Diego. Obviously played his college ball in Oklahoma. His 40, I mean, you're going to be pretty impressed with the fact that he is 6'3", 293, running a 4.82 40. It's pretty solid. That has him in the 74th percentile for defensive tackles. His vertical is 36.5 inches, which is 92 percentile, and his broad jump, so has a little bit of explosiveness to him. Change of direction isn't great. His 3 cone was 8.09, which is in the 3%, and then his short shuttle is 4.79, which is 13%. 31 and 1/8 inch arms, 10-inch hands. And again, this is a guy who I think it's a solid option. He has, and again, one of his best traits is his get off. And as a former offensive lineman myself, that makes it extremely hard to block on the interior when the first step, the dude's already in your pads, already creating havoc. And one of the things that I also like is he's got good hands. He has the ability to hand fight on the interior, be able to affect leverage. Um, so I think it's a good move. I have no issues with this move. At this value, I think this value is appropriate for the player. If you want to argue, um, it wasn't an offensive lineman or it wasn't a different player, I'll leave that up to you. But if we're just going to talk about the player that was just selected, Grayson Halton, he has some upside for sure. So um, the 49ers, what is that? 2 defensive tackles now? No, an edge and a DT. Um, both of them with pass rushing upside. So I'll take it. I'll take it for sure. He definitely has upside. So let me see. Like I said, I still haven't been able to really register the chat. So let's get our instant grades going, huh? Grade this pick: Grayson Halton, defensive tackle out of Oklahoma, at pick 107. How do we feel about this one? So looks like we're liking this pick a little bit better. Consensus in the chat sitting around a B, B, C. I'm assuming if you're giving it below a C, it's because you want offensive line. But I mean, I would say he's definitely more explosive than CJ West and Alfred Morris. So I think I think it makes sense. Again, I this was something that I align with in regards to targeting a position, which is defensive tackle, the type of archetype. Now, again, we talk about this when we discuss draft prospects all the time. Is um, we might not get the name value correct, but there's an archetype, right? There's a type of player that, when I think of Caleb Proctor as a explosive three tech that went just a couple picks ahead, Holton is very similar. He's an explosive three tech. And so he offers the ability to get upfield in a hurry. He has he's extremely good at hand fighting, being able to get those hands off from the offensive lineman, be able to rush upfield and collapse the pocket. So I think that from an archetype standpoint, even a name value standpoint, a guy who's played power four football, I think this is a decent move. I mean, this is a guy who can rush the passer from the three tech. So now, like what would be interesting is when you start to like envision what the 49ers pass rush can look like. Think of it as okay, it's a true third down situation. You have Nick Bosa, Michael Williams, Grayson Halton, and Romello Height. That to me is currently your best pass rushing four. So yes, two of them will be rookies, but when you compare them to their ability of what the San Francisco 49ers had last year, I do think it's an upgrade. I do think Romello Height is going to be an upgrade over Bryce Huff. Oh, excuse me, I forgot. That's my mistake. Osa. So this okay, great point. Great point. Sometimes I forget that we traded for Osa Adigazua. So let me reset that. The initial starting group is going to be Bosa, Michael, Osa, Romello. Now you can swap out, I would say, um, Michael with Grayson Halton. And also, Grayson Halton to me feels like an eventual Osa Adigazua replacement because I do believe that Osa is really under contract for 1 year and then he will need a new contract. So the San Francisco 49ers will be able to figure out, do they extend him? Do they trade him? So if that does in fact happen, they do have someone on the roster who kind of fits that mold of what Osa brings to the table. So good call out, completely spaced on Osa Adigazua. I think you're absolutely right. Osa is going to be able to get the first crack at it for sure. But I would say, like, today, right now, as we stand, the 49ers pass rush is better than where we were before the draft. So that is a positive. I know a lot of people don't like Romello Height because he's an older player, but I do think you have to kind of look past that, especially in this COVID era a little bit, where this is really the first time that we're seeing 6-year players in college. Um, some might perceive it as a bad thing. Also, myself as well, being a ageist, right? Someone who wanted the, fresh prospect at, 21 coming out of college that is moldable and someone that you could fit into your system and develop into your system, hitting their first contract at 24, 25. Um, I get it. I get it for sure. But there's also a side of the coin where you're getting someone at 25 who should be ready. That's kind of the whole point of it, is that you're getting guys who are locked in and ready to go. There shouldn't be a ton of time needed for development. Obviously, everyone is going to have to acclimate to the NFL game, of course. However, I do think there's an opportunity for these older prospects to have a better impact quicker. So you look at Romello Height, you look at Grayson Halton, obviously Michael Williams, CJ West, Alfred Collins, Bosa, Keon White. Now the room is starting to feel a little bit better. And obviously Osa Digizua. So I think the 49ers, and then we know this of them, they want to ensure that their defensive line is as strong as can be. And I know 49er fans, I know you well. We talk all the time. We talk every day. I see your comments on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, in the chat. I know you guys want offensive line. I know you do. Unfortunately, it just has to be an exception. You have to accept that this group does not value offensive line in the draft like you want them to. I had to figure this out early on in the process. So that's kind of how I go about trying to operate when I do my mocks and stuff like that. Of course, I'm always going to do an O-line centered mock, but it's just not what the 49ers do. And so I think they are continuing to try to find value on the offensive line for the fact that you know I also think what the 49ers are telling us too is they like Brett Toth a lot, and I do too. So what I think I need to do, and I have the tape, is I need to do a full breakdown on Brett Toth because even though he played center with the Philadelphia Eagles and is a journeyman offensive lineman, I think they like him as their starting guard. Yes, they brought in I think Robert Jones as well, who has some starting experience with the Miami Dolphins. However, I do think Toth might have something. So the way that I'm seeing this and the way that they're acting is that they feel confident with this group at offensive line. So I would say we maybe get a flyer on the offensive line a little bit later. But I think the 49ers are pretty I think it's pretty obvious that they are content with their O-line room. And again, like I said, they could still add later, but I think they're pretty happy. So we'll see. We'll see. I remember doing a live on here and saying, like, I know you guys think that we're gonna go gangbusters on O-line. I said, don't expect it. Um Ravens are selecting Indiana wide receiver Elijah Surratt. I like Surratt. Surratt got kind of some hate in this process. I think Surratt's all right. I think he could surprise at the next level. But I like the Grayson Halton pick. I think it's a solid pick. So 49ers are 12 picks away until the 49ers are on the clock. Who do you guys think has the best draft so far? I think Chewy is saying, or Choopy is saying Cowboys are killing the draft. I agree with that. Um, I think the Jets, they're having a, I think the Browns are killing it, honestly. They go Fano, Casey Concepcion, Denzel Boston, EMW. Uh, they're cooking. And they were able to trade back too and get more picks. I I think the Browns are cooking. Yeah, Arizona low key having a good draft. Basantis, Love. They just went Caleb Proctor. I believe that's who took Caleb Proctor, and I really like Caleb Proctor. Um, so the 40 the Eagles were having a pretty good draft per usual. Uh, the Rams are not having a good draft, so thank God. The Rams made two head scratching picks to me, going quarterback and then going tight end. They have like 15 tight ends. Um, I mean, good for them. Uh, but the amount of tight ends that the the Rams have is mind boggling. Um, I think I don't remember what the Seahawks have done. Rams are going to be running 16 personnel. Jam says, I would say we're having a bottom 5 draft. You know, again, it's the 49ers, which don't care about public perception, don't draft with public perception in mind. So when they make their selections, they don't care about where we perceive that value to be. And they do their own thing. And we'll see. Will the Stribling pick? I think that's the biggest one. If Stribling turns out to be a dog, turns out to be a starter, That's obviously going to change a lot of our opinions of this draft. I think obviously the biggest question mark so far is Kalon Black because of where he was selected. I think that we would consider Black to be the biggest reach of this class. You also have to compound that with the fact that 49er fans, 49er fans have PTSD regarding the San Francisco 49ers drafting third round running backs because objectively, they have been awful at drafting running backs in the third round. And that's just a fact. That's no hate, that's no disdain, that's nothing. It's just the truth. When you draft Joe Williams, when you draft Trey Sermon, Ty Davis Price, Isaac Guerrero, when you draft James, who they drafted last year, that I think is playing into why people don't like Kalon Black. I said it immediately after, right after the pick was made. I said I love the player. I love Kalon Black. I do. I think he was one of the most underrated running backs in this process. Now, I didn't know he was 25. And I would have to say that's probably one of the main reasons why. And on top of that, he wasn't like a workhorse running back as a legit starter. So I can understand that. But I do again, I like Kalon Black. I like the player. I don't like the value, right? Like that's just the issue with that pick is could you have gotten Kalon Black today? Could you have gotten Kalon Black at pick 127? Probably. I don't see any. I don't think any. I think only 3 running backs went off the board on the first 3 rounds. So we knew that this class wasn't going to be highly regarded from the running back position. So I think they could have waited and then taken Kalon Black at the appropriate value. Honestly, I think that's what the biggest. I think I said this right after the 49ers drafted him. I said, once we get into training camp, once we get into preseason, I think 49er fans are going to love Kalon Black. He is a dog. He plays the running back position the right way. He isn't the most electric runner. I would say if you want to compare him to Brian Robinson Jr., he's a better player than Brian Robinson Jr. I think Brian Robinson Jr. was so limited as a running back. He literally could just run straight into the offensive line. That is all he could do. And he wasn't that great at that either. He is absolutely no CMC. He's not even close. But he does have this ability to run, and his legs don't stop moving. He has a relentless effort. He's a great pass blocker. So, again, I think they could have got him later. I think they could have got him today. I think they could have went someone else at a higher value and still got the player. But that doesn't change the fact that I do love the player. I love Kalon Black. I think he's good. I think he's a good player. I like the idea of him in this system. Would I have liked him more in the 5th round? Sure. Absolutely, I would have. But as we started, so I think the big thing for this is we just got to wait and see what this full class looks like, because I already feel better about the Grayson Halton pick. I think that's a good pick. I think the Grayson Halton pick, if you take into consideration the value aspect of the draft, which a lot of fans are upset about, he might be, I think he's the best value pick so far. So Halton is a good pick and they got a good value on him. So he right now is, in my opinion, the best value of this draft for the 49ers. Um, I would say Romello Height is the second best value. Because the only knock on Romello is his age and maybe some of his injury history. But again, other than that, you flip on that tape, I'm not joking. Like, I was watching it, and there are times where he looks better than Bailey, who was the number 2 overall pick. And I get it, they're at different points in their career. But Romello has upside as a rusher. So, I like that. I actually like that. That's a solid comp. Black reminds of former FSU and Falcons running back Devontae Freeman. I actually think that is a phenomenal comp. And it's ironic because that was a Kyle Shanahan running back. And then if you kind of think about it, who was the other running back they had in they had 2 running backs, right? Remember, it's Devonta Freeman. Who was their other back? That was a bigger back, more of a bruising back, but had a lot of success in that offense. Gosh, it's bugging me. I know someone's going to come out with it. Do you guys remember that? What was that, like 12 years ago now? No, it wasn't Cordell Patterson. It was with the Falcons. It wasn't Tevin Coleman. It was before Tevin Coleman. It might even have been before Devonta Freeman. It's bugging me. All right, I gotta find it. I know. Michael Turner. Let's go. Great pull. Michael Turner. Michael Turner was a mad underrated running back. Bigger body, kind of a more like in between the tackles, not breakaway speed kind of a guy, but shifty enough. A guy who could really just like a road grader, but had enough agility and enough quickness to make guys miss in the hole. Michael Turner. That's who I was looking for. I kind of see that too in Kalon Black. So it's interesting. First of all, great pull on the Devonta Freeman comp. I think Michael Turner might be a comp too. If you think about it, I want to see what Michael Turner's measurables are. I love how these like obscure players just pop back into your memory that you haven't thought about for 10 years. Let's see. Michael Turner was 5'10". Dang, that boy is big. Michael Turner is 250 pounds. Holy crap. Yeah, that was a big boy. So they have the same height. They're both 5'11", or Michael Turner's 5'10", Kalon Black's 5'11". Listed weight for Turner was 247. Listed weight for Kalon Black 211. Actually, I think he's a little smaller. But Turner ran a 4.5 40. Kalen Black runs a 4.45 40. So I don't know. I don't think it's a direct comp, but running style wise, kind of similar. And shout out to everyone sending the super chats. D-Buck, you've been dope these last couple of days. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate all the super chats that you've been sending through. Shout out to my guy Rocha. Do you think they'll take a shot at Lorenzo Styles Jr.? He is raw still at DB, but I don't know. I thought, obviously he blew up the combine with his performance and with his testing. And obviously the bloodline is there. So he kind of strikes me as a potential like UDFA kind of guy. So maybe in that regard. So we'll see. Any guys in the draft that I still want? Yeah, let's take a look. So 49ers have addressed wide receiver. So they need to go tight end. I really like Jack Endries. I covered Jack Endries at Cal. And keep in mind that was with Fernando Mendoza, Jaden Ott, Naeem Hunter, who's the number one wide receiver at Nebraska right now. Javion Thomas, running back for UCLA right now. That was also the class they had on their roster. Teddy Buchanan, Woodson, starting safety for the Patriots, and Noel Williams, cornerback for the Chiefs. So that roster was loaded at Cal, and one of my favorite players was Jack Endries. I think Jack Endries would be I would be thrilled if they went Jack Endries. I think Jack Endries is a complete tight end. I think he can block. I think he can catch. I think he can run. I love how he plays. I like him a lot. I also agree. Jalen Kilgore, I love his versatility. I would love to see him compete at safety. So I like him. Who else? Connor Liu is an interesting name as a center. He is recovering from ACL. But yeah, Bao Stevens to me is a guy I loved because I think he could start. And for whatever reason, he doesn't have the same value as his other teammates, Logan Jones and Jennings Dunker, but at 6'5", 315 pounds. I mean, he does have shorter arms, but I mean, he would fit great. He's a better athlete than who did they draft last year? I don't know. I'm blanking on his name out of Iowa. Chat, help me out. Who'd we draft out of Iowa last year? Connor Colby. Thank you. He's a way better athlete than Connor Colby. That's why Connor Colby was a bit of an interesting. I mean, he was a 7th round pick, I believe. So it is what it is. But he doesn't strike me as the type of athlete that they would want on their own line. He held up decently well. Um, so Stevens, Alex Harkey is available. He seems like he probably profiles more to a guard. I know the 49ers had him in for a 30 visit out of Oregon. Um, so he could be kind of a late round flyer potentially. I do like Riley Nowakowski as like a future Kyle Juszczyk replacement. So, but again, I would like him more with like the last pick in the draft. Harold Perkins, I think, is a very intriguing player, especially with the 49ers trading D Winters. I feel like Harold Perkins could be a D Winters kind of replacement. I think D Winters, sixth round draft pick at a TCU, a bit of an undersized linebacker, um, and but just freak athlete. And what I also like about Harold Perkins is you could use him as a pass rusher off the edge. I really think you could. So that one would be an interesting one based on how things have gone down. I don't know if they would go wide receiver again. They did bring in Colby Young. I thought Colby Young was pretty actually stood out at the Senior Bowl. Hezekiah Massis, I covered at Cal. He really is sticky in coverage. He's kind of a ball hawk. He's played a lot of football. Uh, and I think one of the things that really stood out to me is I went from really liking Hezekiah Massis to seeing him give up on tackles. And then I was like, oh no, like we can't have that. Like, so then to not liking him because he wasn't a willing tackler, to then I think clearly a coaching point occurred where I saw a shift in real time in the season with Hezekiah where he then became a willing tackler. And that brought me back because I literally saw Hezekiah Massis let a running back from North Carolina walk into the end zone because he didn't want to tackle him. Huge red flag for me. I do not like cornerbacks who don't tackle, and neither do the 49ers. And so I was like, oh, it sucks because he's really good in coverage and he's a ball hawking cornerback. But then he improved. And then he was getting his nose into everything. And I said, okay, we're good. As long as I can see a tangible improvement in you that you clearly were weak in this area. And then it was just an effort thing. And you brought the effort the rest of the season after that. Because I can guarantee you, if I'm a coach, I'm rewinding that over and over and over again. I was standing right there on the sideline. Looking right through my lens. I saw it and I was like, ooh, that's brutal. And so kudos to Hezekiah Massis for correcting that and becoming a better tackler. And he's capable. That's the thing. He's capable of being a tackler. It was just an effort thing. Um, that's all. I do like Matt Grublin. Gulbin, Matt Gulbin. Dude, the Raiders got Mike Washington Jr. That's interesting. That's very interesting. You know who I think I want as a UDFA Jacob De Jesus. That's who I want. I think he would be I think you could put him at running back, but primarily as a pass catcher out of the backfield or even just play slot. Um, I think he would have I got to talk to him on the sideline during the Cal spring game. Asked him about the pro day, the local pro day that he went to with the 49ers. And his eyes got big. He was like, "Man, I want them to draft me." I just said to him, I was like, "Could you imagine you and Kyle Shanahan together?" And his eyes just went like, he's like, "Yeah, man, I want them to draft me." I think he knows that a place like the 49ers would maximize his ability. Um, Even though he's a smaller player, he is tough as like he's tough. Um, so that's a guy I'd be down for. Tanner Koziel, I think, has a lot of upside as a pass catching tight end out of Houston. Um, let's see. What other players down the list? So one of the things that I noticed with this draft is because the 49ers had only fourth round picks, I really kind of just stuck in that range. I didn't scout or look at a lot of guys who went later like I typically would if they had a full plethora of 7 round picks. Oh, that's crazy. I'm on page I'm on page 7 of 9 and just looking cuz this is the rankings from the NFL site, like there hasn't been a drafted player I think for like the last 2 pages. And then there's Kale Black. Oh boy. So NFL.com also believes that that was a bit of a reach. All right. The 49ers are coming up on the clock. Chicago, 2 picks by Buffalo, and then the San Francisco 49ers. All right. What position? I think I want to do it this way. What position are the 49ers going to draft right here? What do you think? What position do you think they're going to go with? Not what you want. Who do you think they're going to go with? What do you believe that to be? Very curious. Bills go Skylar Bell. Skylar Bell had some hype for sure, had some hype during this class. So that's an interesting one. So Chicago goes Malik Muhammad out of Texas. I see linebackers, tight end, safety, corner, center. Yeah, I kind of feel like I don't know. It's going to be funny if the 49ers finally go O-line when we've all kind of pivoted towards a different pick. The 49ers are officially on the clock as it stands right now. I don't know. I like Jalen Kilgore. To me, he was like an immediate draft crush when I put on the tape of him. I like that he's a versatile player. I don't know if the 49ers are going to draft him. He's the best available player on NFL Network's draft rankings. So let's see what we get. All right, pick should be coming through any minute now. I think safety or tight end. I think those would be two good spots to go right now. Let's see who we going with. Skylar Bell just went to the Bills at pick 125. He's a pretty solid player. He's a lot of speed. Bryce Lance would be pretty crazy. Ben Barch is not on the 49ers anymore, just so you know. Okay, the Bills just went with Caleb Elarms or so let's see. Let's see. Where are we gonna go? Oh, we got multiple picks lined up here. We're picking out 127 at pick 133 and pick 139. So we got a flurry of picks coming up here. So let's see what the 49ers do here. Come on. The pick is in. announce it. With the 127th pick in the 4th round of the NFL draft, the San Francisco 49ers select. Drop it in the chat before it goes. Drop it in the chat. Who are they taking? Chat, who are they taking? Extra cookies if you get it right. Oh, it's an offensive lineman. Oh, the San Francisco 49ers select Washington offensive tackle Carver Willis. I actually think I've watched his tape. Hold on one second. Let me get this posted and let me make sure that I'm thinking about the right. I'm pretty sure I watched this guy. And when I watched him, I could, there was something there. So this one is also interesting too because I've talked about this before, but Jake Lynch, John Lynch's son, was a coach at Washington last season. So I think there are some ties between the Washington program and the 49ers program. Obviously, Jake was with these guys for a whole year. So there you go. 49ers get an offensive lineman, which, like I said, the chat had moved away from the offensive line, and that's when the 49ers strike. So if you're just joining, the 49ers select Washington offensive tackle Carver Willis at pick 127. So let me get this posted, and then let's talk a little bit more about who the San Francisco 49ers just drafted. We got an offensive lineman. We happy? We happy with it? The Bengals go with Auburn center Connor Lew directly after. All right, so his name is Carver Willis. Let's see. I'm pretty sure I talked about this guy. All right, let me pull up a little bit about Carver Willis. So, the San Francisco 49ers in the 4th round take a 6'5", 303-pound senior offensive tackle out of Washington. He has 32.5-inch arms, which is in the 12th percentile, 5'11", 40, a 4.71 short shuttle, so kind of slow on the shuttle. 10-yard split was a 1.84. Broad jump was 108 inches, 79th percentile. Former 3-star recruit. So basically, I think he profiles best at guard for the 49ers. Which I think in this area. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, yep, I have watched him. So this is exactly who I was thinking about. So when I watched him, one of the things I said is like he shows good good feet quickness, good base, strikes me as a guard. So um he has really good feet. So this I like this element of it. Um yeah, so this is what I said. I was tagged on a couple of his clips. This is what I said on April 2nd. I said, I'm definitely intrigued. There are things I like and don't like from this cut up. What I do like is he seems aggressive, packs a punch, and looks to finish blocks. I do like his first step in run blocking, it's pretty quick. What I don't like is when he is run blocking, he brings his feet together and looks to contribute to why he falls over in these clips. I don't see the best footwork in pass pro, and he strikes me as an interior offensive lineman at the next level. That being said, he could be an interesting player to grab late with a few adjustments to the technique, could develop pretty well. So that was my literally first impression of him when I watched a couple clips of him. So take it for what it's worth. Again, the things that I mentioned of what I didn't like are correctable. So bringing your feet together, you can fix that. Um, but yeah, there's potential here for sure. Like absolutely. So what I do like is he moves very well, exceptionally. And this is the type of offensive lineman that I would expect the 49ers to want at guard. So yeah, I'm okay with this. Carver Willis. All right, all right. So he is a guard to me. I don't think he's a tackle. Obviously, he's played left tackle, so he has the potential ability to kick out, maybe. Again, strikes me as a guard. Again, that was what I saw first on tape with him. But the things that I love, foot quickness, agility, um, base can be cleaned up just a bit. But again, the things that he can be better at, he can are all correctable. Um, so have to do more work on it, just like I do with a lot of picks. But first initial impression, I like this. And I like him at guard. I don't like him at tackle. I like him at guard. Um, and I do believe that's what the 49ers have drafted him to be. So yeah, I this is a good one because again, I see his fit at guard, and I think he has plus. I think yeah. So, all right. What is your grade? 49ers get an offensive lineman. They go with Carver Willis. What do you think? What do we grade in that pick? A, B plus, D, C, D? Why is it a D? B minus, B minus, C plus. C minus to be nice. Come on. Do you even know? Have you even seen a single snap that he has made? He's the Jarrett Kingston of 2026. Yeah, he's the Nick Sakel of 2026. However, I think he's a better I think he moves better than Nick Sakel for sure. For sure, for sure. So I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. I give this grade solid B. Um, I don't really know where he would have been valued. Again, could you have gotten around him a couple picks later? Maybe. Um, but I see the vision. Um, I like this type of player. I think he's a little bit raw. He needs some technical work, but he has the base. He's like a bit of a moldable player. Oh, looks like my internet is tripping balls. Um, so I look at him as a moldable player. Again, he's an offensive tackle. I absolutely believe he will be a guard for the 49ers. Um, guard or center potentially. We'll see. He's definitely an interior offensive lineman. Um, he does have experience at both left and right tackle. Um, he has versatility, so that's a good thing. Um, he fits the zone run blocking like mantra to a T. Um, so I think that this guy, I like this pick. I do. I like it. I think the value makes sense. Um, I did like Stevens more. But I also see the vision here. So I look at this guy. He's an interior offensive lineman. He can most likely be your swing interior offensive lineman of the future. Um, potentially can have. I think what I want to see with him is get him some reps at center. I think that would be interesting to see him at center. So the way that I look at him is he's going to be a backup most likely to start his career, but year 2, year 3, that's where I think we would be able to see um, Carver take some time. So we'll see. And are the 49ers back on the clock? Yep. 49ers are back on the clock again. So again, we have a flurry of picks. One more after this. Who do the 49ers, we just traded our pick? According to who? Ravens just traded up. So we traded out. Did we really? Why am I not seeing anything that says that? Okay, so the Ravens traded the 154th overall pick and a 2027 sixth round pick for the 133rd overall pick. Oh, man. The 49ers hate this draft. They don't like this draft. They're not a fan of this draft. Which again is like why did they trade back to get so many later picks just to trade them? Okie dokie. The 49ers have traded pick 133 to the Ravens for the 154th overall pick and a 2027 sixth round pick. All right. Interesting. I mean, I get it. The 49ers have a pick coming up, but yeah. Interesting. So again, the 49ers traded pick 133 to the Ravens for 154 and a 2027 sixth round pick. They are back on the clock at 139, so they still have a pick. So I'm assuming the logic is they don't love a ton of players right here. They can get a pick in next year's draft and just move back a couple spots. I mean, granted, the 2027 draft is expected to be a generational draft, and there honestly haven't been a lot of picks regarding the trade of 2027 picks. And I think that's partly why. So interesting. I do think right here. Tight end would be great. Like, go get my boy Jack Endries. Come on, make me happy. Make me happy, 49ers. Getting Jack Endries in the fourth round. Like, to me, he has for sure day two upside. I think he's solid. I know he went to transferred to Texas, didn't have huge production. But I think he's a quality player. And he would be a great understudy to George Kittle for sure. For sure. But as we know, probably not going to go that route. I do like the Willis Carver pick, or the Carver Willis pick. Thinking of him as a guard. I also just saw, I guess he had his quick little press conference with the media. He said that every team that he spoke to mentioned and talked about him moving inside. So obviously, the same thing that I saw on tape. I saw a guy. He's, like I said, this is my first reaction of him. He is not going to be a tackle. He is going to be an interior offensive lineman, who is going to play guard. And like I said, I would like to see him try center. So I think he, you can see that his footwork lends itself to being an interior offensive lineman. His first initial kick step is pretty solid, but when he's met with speed, he bails quickly. He doesn't have the ability just to keep kick stepping and sliding back in his vertical set. So he tends to bail, and that's one of the things that I'm looking for in my tackles. That if you're bailing quickly in your pass set, you probably can't hang in the NFL on an island in that scenario against the speed rushers that you will face. So those are one of the key indicators for me to be able to determine if a guy will play inside. I say this all the time. Everyone always mentions arm length as the indicator from tackle to guard. I don't care. What I care about is your base. To me, the most important element of being an offensive lineman is your feet, is your base. Is your base stout? Do you have good hips? Can you anchor? Can you keep your feet moving? Are they quick? Do you have an explosive first step? Can you pass set, especially for tackles? Tackles, the vertical set is huge. If you can't vertical set against speed in college, you are sure as hell not going to be able to do it in the NFL. So that's how I determine tackles to interior. I I I don't think I can't think of a time where I went to uh arm length and was like guard. I don't. Again, Rashawn Slater, perfect example. T-Rex arms, right? According to everyone, I said no, that's a tackle. That is a tackle. Not only is he a tackle, he's the best tackle in this class. Um, and he's going to be a phenomenal tackle because of his base. His base was elite. And that's how I determine success for offensive linemen. If they can survive on an island at tackle, it is always going to be about base. Because I'm all about that base, baby. We're talking O-line, we're talking about base. That's what we're talking about. So it appears, based on my initial read, that appears to be where we are at. He will be an interior offensive lineman. So the Niners are close to being up on the clock again. Do me a solid, Niners. Do me a solid. Jack injuries, Jalen Kilgore. Do me a solid. Come on. Just do me a solid. Make me happy. Give me one of those two. I will be pleased. Jack injuries, Jalen Kilgore. Come on, Niners. Come on. This is where they should let the content creators draft. I really do think not every content creator, and let me make that abundantly clear. Not every content creator can draft, but I think there's a select group of us. I think of Croc. I think of Peacock. I'll throw a Ponte in there. There's a group of us that I think could do some damage on day 3 of the NFL draft. I'm not going to say we're perfect and we're going to have a 100% hit rate, but I think we could. I do. You might think that I'm absolutely delusional. Oh, Saints have selected Bryce Lance. But I really, with my full heart, believe that I think if you put if we came up with our own draft room of I would throw in Chapman as well, John Chapman. He does a lot of really good work with his I'll throw in Kruger too. I'll throw Krug in. Krug got it. Krug, he watches a lot of different players. If we had our own little crew, I would say I think we could nail down some picks. Like the board that we would put together, I think we could do some damage. Oh, who is my biggest miss as a prospect? This is going to be a deep pull. Do you guys know who Jaron Kreiner is? Probably not, because that's how big of a miss it is. Do you remember Jaron Kreiner? I'm going to give the chat a little bit of time to see if anyone even recognizes that name. Jaron Kreiner. Does that name ring a bell to anyone? I want to see what you guys think if you've heard that name before. So far, not seeing anything about Jaron Kreiner. So, nope, not John, Jaron. So this is how deep of a pull this is. So this was he was from Arizona. He was oh man, what was his name? The Eagles quarterback that won the Super Bowl. I don't know why I'm blanking on everyone's name right now. Nick Foles. So he was Nick Foles' number 1 wide receiver at Arizona. He had some I love this guy. And this was so long ago. Loved him, dude. I thought he was going to be a special player. And then he got drafted by the Raiders. And I was like, oh, he's cooked. There's no chance for him. And sure enough, that's kind of how it panned out. He had some glimpses with the Raiders, and then he kind of faded away. He was on the practice squad here, there. I thought he was going to be awesome. Jalen Strong, do you remember him? Out of Arizona State. I thought he was going to be a special wide receiver. That was a big miss. I really thought he was going to be legit. Quentin Patton. I loved Quentin Patton. Loved Quentin Patton. He was a draft crush coming out of, I believe it was La Tech. Loved Quentin Patton. Unfortunately, that one didn't turn out. I don't feel like Quentin Patton got a fair shake, so I'm a little biased to that. He went to a team in the 49ers that they did not run 3 wide receiver sets. Like, they just did not do it. So he never got an opportunity. It seemed like he would have got an opportunity as a rookie, and then he got hurt and he missed the whole season. And I think that really changed the trajectory of his career. Because then they just kept adding wide receivers. So who else? Donovan West, who I was high on early. He was a 49ers practice squatter, but I kind of had him as like a 3rd, 4th rounder. And he's actually one of my biggest learning lessons, because I went to the combine. That was my first year, I think, scouting at the combine. The 49ers are on the clock, by the way. It was my first year seeing these guys in person. And I looked at Donovan West and I was like, oh, you're small. And he was considered to be 6'4", like 320, but his frame was just smaller than everyone else's. And it started red flagging. I was like, ooh, you're smaller than I thought, considerably. And I'm not a big, I'm kind of a guy, if you can play, you can play. I will look past some measurables at some times as long as you can play. And I was like, you know what? I kind of been hyping up Donovan West. I think we'll see. I think he had great tape at ASU. But yeah, that did not pan out. So I definitely have my fair share of misses. Hakeem Butler's balling out in the UFL right now. I also think too, I think there have been prospects where I just have also called Instabus, where I feel like my Instabust hit rate is pretty strong. If I think a player is a bust, I think I'm almost hitting 100% on that. Dorial Green Beckham, you remember him? Number one wide receiver, number one prospect in his high school class. Tons of hype. I thought he was ass. And I've argued with a lot of people about it. DGB, I don't know if you guys remember him. Obi Omelofonwu, I thought was ass too. I thought he was an insta bust. Turned out to be true. There's been a couple of them. So I think the 49ers are officially on the clock. LT Overton just went at edge to the Cowboys. So let's see, who are the 49ers going to draft? Bring me Jack Endries, please. do me a solid. Give me my guy. Give me my guy, Jack Endries, tight end out of Texas, Cal transfer. Come on. Come on. We need a Jake Tonges, Jack Endries, Cal tight end room to annoy George Kittle. Come on, let's do it. Please. I'm not a big fan, unfortunately, of Luke Farrell. I don't think he panned out. I would say that might be the hindrance of them going tight end, is because I think there's a little bit of sunk cost potential there. So we'll see if they move off of Farrell. I doubt they will. So the two players that I like here, Jack Endries and Jalen Kilgore. D-Buck, appreciate the super chat. Sorry I missed this earlier. He said the Niners heard about the Rams saying F them picks from years past, but didn't understand the assignment. Well, their pick is in, D-Buck. Let's see what they're going to get. Who do you think they're going to take, D-Buck? Huh? Who do you want here? The pick is in. They're staying pat. They're going right here. Who? Kyle Lewis? Dude, I'm surprised Kyle Lewis went this late. I think Miami's doing a great job. This is a big steal. Kyle Lewis would have been sick on the Niners to kind of replace D Winters. Oh man, brutal. He said I want Kilgore or Kyle Lewis. Kyle Lewis just went off the board. All right, the pick is in for the San Francisco 49ers. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. Oh boy, come on. Come on, Niners. Do me a solid. Let's go, Jack Endries. Come on. Jack Endries, Jalen Kilgore. Come on, Niners. Oh, Ephesians Prysock site. Jeez, I'm gonna need someone to help me figure this one out. How to say his name, because that's a dangerous name to say without the proper pronunciation. So the 49ers, honestly, I thought he has honestly been one of the more underrated DBs. What did I say too? I said the 49ers have links to Washington program. I told you that. I said that. I said there's a legit connection to this Washington program. So the 49ers go with, so the thing with him, I think he's 6'4". He's a long, lanky corner. He's 6'3", 196 pounds. He had 48 tackles last year, 7 passes defended, 1 interception. He's a 4.45 guy. He's got long arms, 33-inch arms. So honestly, this is a guy that I didn't really talk about him much, but something told me, because again, like I believe that the 49ers have this connection to this Washington team. and their two cornerbacks were super underrated throughout this process, I thought. Um, and what I'm curious about is, can this guy play safety? I'm really interested to see if he could play safety. He's definitely more of a zone corner. Um, he has obviously great straight line speed. I mean, when you look at what he's done, he started 42 games across multiple programs. So this guy has a lot of experience. Um, he has a lot of experience. So I'm not upset with this pick. I feel like the value for him aligns. I think he has very interesting measurables, and I'm curious, could he play safety? Cuz I mean, he's tagged as an outside zone corner. Um he's known as being a good tackler. Um decent in coverage, but wonder if he could play on the back end of the defense. But he's definitely considered to be an upside player. Moves well for his size, strong hip fluidity, great wingspan, long arms, and like I said, he's played a lot of snaps. One of the issues is kind of production from his size. I think he only had 2 interceptions over 4 years. But he is a good zone player. He does have the ability to do press as well. But I think there's upside here. I think there's upside. Yeah. I do wonder, safety? All right. So the 49ers are back on the clock. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 more picks. The Niners are back up. For a cornerback, he's slow. 4.4. I mean, 68th percentile. It's not the worst. His vertical is in the 85th percentile. His height is in the 97th percentile. His arm length is in the 86th percentile. I mean, the only thing where he's below average is his 10-yard split, which is 157. So let's take a step back. So the San Francisco 49ers have taken Trey Stribling, Romello Height, Kalon Black, Grayson Halton, Carver Willis, and Ephesians Prysock. I need someone to help me say his name phonetically. Not terrible. Not terrible at all. Batman disagrees. He says worst draft ever. Prysock, thank you. I hope it is. I don't think it's the worst draft ever because 2023 exists. That I think might be the worst draft ever. Prysock. Prysock. All right. I want to watch a little bit more. Let me get some Ephesians. You know who he kind of reminds me of a little bit? He kind of reminds me of Ifitu Melifonwu. Do you guys remember that guy? I think he's still in the league. It's funny because I was just talking about Obi Melifonwu, who I thought was an insta bust, but I really liked his brother, Ifitu Melifonwu. Ifitu was very similar, long corner, 6'4", good athlete. I think had the ability to play safety. He's kind of bounced around a little bit. I think he was drafted by the Detroit Lions, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so I'm watching reps right now versus Ian Strong, who is actually a Cal wide receiver now. Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. I would like to see him at safety. I'm not gonna lie. Like he has the ability to play cornerback. Like he could hang in the hip pocket of some pretty solid wide receivers. I think he would be a sick deep safety. Love to see him get a crack at it. AZ took Virgil. I really liked Reggie Virgil a lot. I thought he looked really good at the Senior Bowl. Yeah, Arizona's having a good draft for sure. Yeah, no, I like this pick. I like Ephesians. I think he's solid. I like Ephesians quite a bit. I mean, for how big he is, fluid hips, ability to hang in the hip pocket. Just watching a great rep of him versus Ted Hurst at the Senior Bowl, just blanketed him in coverage. Yeah, I like this pick. No, I like this pick. I'm good with this pick. No, I'm good with this pick. Yeah, the more I watch, the more I'm like, yeah, this is good. This is a great pick. Um, um, unfortunately, what I realized is if I share the film, YouTube will nerf my video. So apparently, you can't share all 22 anymore on YouTube, which I wasn't aware of. So I'm not trying to get my video nerfed, unfortunately. I'll probably so once the draft is over, I'll do more standalone film breakdowns um for each individual player. And then I'll post those. But unfortunately, YouTube will nerf my video if I show any all 22 of college, which was surprising. Because I showed some clips of Romello Height, and they nerfed me. So don't want to upset the YouTubers, the algorithm. But yeah, no, I like this. I like this a lot. I think it's a good pick. I haven't asked. What is our grade? What is our grade for Ephesians Prysock? That's what I'm gonna call him until I know what his name actually is. How are we feeling about this pick? Drop your grades in the chat. I think this is a solid. I think it's solid B plus. I mean, you might even. Oh, the Saints are trading for former Raiders first round edge Tyree Wilson. Wow. I like this pick, like I mentioned, for a lot of reasons. Like his frame and movement ability, his physical traits are solid. And then you combine that with the simple fact that he has played a ton of football. Um, he's played a ton of football. Uh, and he looks like he can hang at corner, but I'm like kind of intrigued. Like, what would he look like as a safety? But either way, I like this pick a lot. Chat seems to like the pick. Yeah, this is a good pick. I don't mind the value. I don't mind the value at all. This is kind of where my head's at, like, because he has the ability to be a corner. Like he can definitely be an outside corner. That's no question. But like how we've seen like Nick Emanwari and all that stuff, like maybe, just maybe, he could play a bit of a dual role. Obviously, he can play cornerback. We know this. But I'm curious, like having that type of length, he's got good speed, got fluid hips. Again, he's played a lot of ball, so he's seen a lot of stuff, and is an intelligent player. What could he look like at safety? Um, Now, I don't know if that's what the 49ers plans are for him and if they will even try that, but I'm intrigued by it for sure. I'm definitely intrigued by it. So I'm really curious to see. Like, that's going to be a player that I'm going to be really excited to watch at training camp. Like him, Romello Height. I mean, honestly, I'm going to be excited to watch all these players at training camp, but um, I'm very curious about Ephesians. I think that's a solid. That could be a really solid one. Um, all right, so the 49ers are creeping up here a little bit. They're going to be back on the clock here pretty soon. Yeah, I'm down with this pick. The more and more I look into it, the more and more I like it. Honestly, I mean, I think the value is great for him too. Uh, Great value for him. Niners next pick. They are Seattle's pick is in, so Cleveland's on the clock. And then after Cleveland, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks away. It looks like Denver just traded up. So, like, I'm feeling better about this draft than I did after last night. I am. Be honest with you. I know the first 3 rounds are a little rough. But I think this is a great pick. This pick and Grayson Halton, I think, are great value picks. I think those 2 picks, like, I think both of these, both those guys are NFL guys. Um, and I really like the skill set that they bring to the table. Um, so yeah, I'm feeling a lot better today. I think Ephesians, I think there's a lot of potential there. I really do. He is an intriguing prospect. So we had Joshua Josephs go off the board to Washington, edge out of Tennessee. Seahawks draft Iowa guard Bale Stevens. Damn it. Freaking Seattle, bruh. Freaking Seattle, bruh. Freaking Seattle. Great value. That is a great value. For Seattle. Great value. Like he might start next year. Bow. I don't know how to say his name, but thank you. Don't worry, we got Carver Willis. Hey, Carver has some upside. I'll give him that. But I would definitely say Stevens was the more accomplished for sure. Did Isaiah Worlds go? I didn't see his name called, but he could have gone potentially. I'm not sure. So the 49ers are close. Bring me Jack Endries. Please, just bring me Jack Endries. Come on, Kyle. He went to your alma mater. I know they're not going to take him. What's up, David? David says, "What's up, boss? Had a busy day on dad duty. Shout out to being a good dad." He said, "Missed the picks. What's the vibe like for our picks? Yesterday was underwhelming. How are we feeling about today?" We were just talking about this. I feel a lot better today. I think the 49ers have had a pretty solid day. Ephesians Prysock to me is arguably one of the most intriguing prospects we've drafted. The fact that he's 6'3", 6'4", and has great athletic ability for his size, great length, coverage ability. I'm intrigued by his ability to potentially play safety. So I like Grayson Halton as well. I think that is an intriguing pick. Um, I think Halton is the best value pick since value has been a big conversation amongst 49er fans. He's definitely been the best value pick of the day. And I would say the most intriguing pick is Ephesians. And then with the offensive lineman that they drafted, he's definitely going to He's definitely going to be an interior offensive lineman. They don't like injuries. I get that feeling too. They're not going to do what I want. The 49ers are on the clock. I would love a Jack Endries pick right here. We just had Justin Jolly, the NC State tight end, who had some upside as a receiving tight end, just go off the board to the Broncos. This would be a good time to take a tight end like Jack Endries. Now, listen to me. The last time the Broncos took a tight end in front of the San Francisco 49ers, they took Jake Butt. Who was the next pick right after that? It was George Kittle. Now, I'm not saying Jack Endries is George Kittle. I'm not saying that. But maybe it could be a good omen for the 49ers. And again, we're in the 5th round. This is about the time where if I'm in the draft room, I start to perk up a little bit and say, all right, I want Jack Endries. It's where I start making my case. I get it. You paid Luke Farrell. Luke Farrell is extremely underwhelming. I don't feel comfortable going into this draft with him. Or into the season with him. The Raiders draft Dalton Johnson. I like him out of Arizona. I think you need to bring in another tight end, and you need to create a competition for Luke Farrell. Obviously, the 49ers paid Tonjes. Good with that. All right, the pick is in. The pick is in. Who are they going to take? Again, if I'm in that room, which I know none of them would listen to me, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Admittedly, have not done as much work as they have done. But I would let's take a shot. Come on, let's take a shot at Jack Endries. And I would be pretty happy about that. But what position do you think they go here? So they've gone secondary, they've went edge, they went D tackle, wide receiver, offensive line. Again, to me, tight end feels like based on the way that they have attacked their needs and attacked certain position groups, it does feel like tight end could be an option here. Maybe that's me just being wishful. Surprised that Jalen Kilgore is still available, honestly. His slide has been interesting. Harold Perkins, I don't know if Harold Perkins is a type of player that the 49ers would like. He's kind of a positionless player. I think that could be molded into a couple different things. They've already went running back. So, I mean, did they draft? Oh, they went linebacker. There you go. Jaden Duggar. So the San Francisco 49ers have selected linebacker Jaden Duggar, University of Louisiana, Ragin' Cajuns, first team all Sun Belt linebacker. Just looking at him, he just looks like a converted safety to linebacker. So, I mean, he looks like a DB. So, right up the 49ers alley. So, as we know, the 49ers traded D. Winters to the Cowboys, and they basically, because what did they, is this the pick they got from, I can't remember if this is the pick that they got from the Cowboys for D. Winters, but I think you can make the assumption that this is the D. Winters replacement. So the 49ers, if you're just joining, have selected Louisiana linebacker. So Louisiana Lafayette. Linebacker Jaden Duggar. Jaden Duggar. I don't know much about him. So let me pull up some of his stats, and then let's look at the tape, and we'll see what our first impression is of the 49ers' newest linebacker. All right, Jaden Duggar, you are up. So let's see what some of the facts are on Jaden Duggar. Do they not even have him in this database? What the hell? Let's see. He's got to be on this list. Is he not even on this list? So just to give you a reference of what I'm looking at right now, I'm looking at NFL Draft Buzz, which is one of my favorite draft sites. They do not even have him listed as a prospect. And I've come to find that this website is pretty solid with their rankings and breakdowns. Do they have him listed as a safety? Dude, he's not even on here. Okay. So that's interesting. He's not even listed on that website, which focuses on the draft. Okay. All right. Well, great size. 6'4", 240 pounds. Dude, the NFL.com really has nothing on him. He clearly didn't go to the combine. His draft projection is a priority free agent. So he's expected to be a UDFA. And as I mentioned, from just looking at him, I was like, he looks like a DB. The overview that we have on him on NFL.com is rangy former safety, still in the infant stages of learning the off-ball linebacker spot. Duggar has a stretched out frame with exceptional length and room to add more muscle throughout. He's inconsistent when it comes to diagnosing blocking schemes, play design, and needs significant work with block take-ons inside the box. He has the speed to run down wide flowing backs and is an above average wrap and finish tackler in space. The production and traits are intriguing, but Duggar needs more schooling and physical development before becoming an NFL linebacker. He racked up 125 tackles, including 13 for a loss in 2025. So that's pretty solid production. Has room on his frame for more muscle mass. That's absolutely true. Rare length at linebacker with a 7-foot wingspan. Has the range and athleticism to successfully track wide runs. We discussed that already. Effectively uses his length in wrapping and finishing in the open field. Improved his feel for zone coverage as last season progressed. Weaknesses: long limb, but still too lean in his lower half. Struggles to consistently read keys and diagnose play design. Lacks base strength to maintain balance through contact. Hasn't learned to leverage his length against climbing blocks. Once block, tends to stay blocked. Ooh. All right. All right. Uh so um based on perception, kind of fits into that reach category of the draft. Oh, all right. I mean, I'm watching now. Interesting. So he has a lot of special teams experience, 380 snaps on special team, led the Sun Belt in solo tackles. He's a former high school hoops player. He was an FCS all conference defensive back, 6'4", 240 pounds. You know, who he kind of reminds me of? He kind of got a little Nick Imanori. Like I'm not it's not a straight comparison. But watching how he's playing in the box, and again, these are just a couple clips that I've come across. Um I at least can say I can see something. So that's a good start. Um so at 6'4", 242 pounds, bench press 17 times. His vertical is 34 and a half, broad jump 10 feet, 6 inches. His 40-yard dash was a 4.6, 40, 20-yard split 2.65, 10-yard split 1.6, short shuttle 4.25, 3 cone, 7 flat. So interesting for sure. Like this isn't again, it absolutely feels like a reach from a value perspective. But it's an interesting player. I'm kind of intrigued. I'm not gonna lie. It's a reach. Theme of the 49ers draft uh philosophy. They go into the draft like this. They're like, we just gonna have our board and we're gonna play by our board. If it works out, phenomenal. The problem is they have a track record of it not working out, which is why I think, again, they've lost a little bit of the benefit of the doubt with the fan base. The Chiefs select Emmett Johnson. Ooh, that's a good pick. Jaden Duggar is intriguing. I'll give him that. There might be something there. So the 49ers don't care about perceived value. That is obviously clear. They're going to do their own thing. So yeah, I don't love the value. But I'm intrigued. I am. I'll be honest. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by this player. He's fast. Like the sideline to sideline, it's pretty impressive. He seems to be pretty solid against, blitzing up the middle, and kind of beating on. Like I like it in the sense that I see a little bit of I see the potential like immediately. So that to me is good. Like, obviously it's a first impression. It's going to be his best plays that I'm looking at right now. But at minimum, at least it's a good impression, right? I can say that. Like there have been plenty of times when the 49ers have taken someone, I get, do a quick little traits pull on the player, take a look at some of their plays, and I'm like, oh, I don't like this guy. But so I would say, at least, I see there's something not bad. I don't like the value. I think we're just going to stop talking about the value, because the 49ers clearly don't value um, in that sense, from the perspective that fans typically have, which is to be expected. To be fully transparent, I don't expect them to have same grades or even close to anything as the public. We know this. It's a very common understanding. Um, but again, the reason why the 49ers don't get the benefit of the doubt is because they miss on their reaches. So um that's a demon that they're going to have to overcome, and that's a demon that fans are going to hold them accountable for. It is what it is. If they're going to reach on a perceived player, they aren't going to get the benefit of the doubt from this fan base. So that just comes with the territory. And then, the 49ers are going to do their own thing. They don't care about us. They don't care about our thoughts. Um, which is how it should be in a sense. But again, it just hasn't gone their way since 2021. Every perceived reach that they've had has not panned out since, I would say, like the 21 draft. Um, so that's what we're looking like. Yes, are you new here? The 49ers rarely ever take who I want. So, yes, I don't expect them to ever take who I want. I'd known this a long time ago. I discovered that a long time ago. Yeah, it feels like there's something going on with Kilgore. I don't know what that's about. Everyone's passing on him. Um, yeah, I don't know what that's about. He seems like a solid player. Um, yes, today has been a better draft. Do we know what the 49ers next pick is? 179 is next. Okay. 179. I think that's the last pick of the draft for the 49ers, right? I'm watching more Duggar. I'm watching some of his Shrine Bowl highlights. Yeah. He's good and he's surprising, not surprising, but obviously being a former safety, um, he's he's decent in coverage. Yeah, the more I watch Jaden Duggar, the more I see the vision. Yeah, no, Jaden Duggar definitely has some potential. So I'm kind of intrigued by it. Again, I don't have to keep repeating the theme of this draft. We all know what the theme is from a 49ers perspective. But I think today has been a good day, for the most part. I see the vision a little bit better for a lot of these picks. Yeah, I feel a lot better about the Jaden Duggar one. See that one, that this pick to me feels like this feels like again, he's raw. He's new to linebacker, but he could potentially play like that star role on the defense. Like he could be that nickel linebacker. Um, I don't, dude. Could he be an in the box safety? Even I mean, he does have an intriguing skill set. And watching him, his highlights at the Shrine Bowl, not bad, man. Not bad. Not bad. I think there's something. I think there's something. Dude, if this guy gets on, the Fred Warner weight gainer regiment and this dude adds 10, 15 pounds of pure muscle, he could be a load. Cuz I mean, he looks like a DB right now. Like he looks like a DB. He's got a DB frame, but he's playing linebacker. And we know the 49ers love these guys. I mean, I'm just looking at a picture of him getting ready to run his 40, just wearing shorts. I mean, his arms are long. He's he's got some length. He's built like a DB. He's absolutely built like a DB, and we know the 49ers have had a ton of success taking DBs, former safeties, putting them at linebacker. Aziz Al-Shaair, Dre Greenlaw. So I like this pick more and more I watch it. So I'm just watching more stuff on Jaden Duggar right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm liking this pick the more and more I watch it. Again, the issue is he was expected to be a free agent, a UDFA, but the 49ers take him in the 5th. That's the only gripe, really. And again, that's going to be the gripe with every one of these picks, or most of them, is that the 49ers overdrafted him potentially. But I don't know. Maybe they didn't think he was going to make it a 179. So, but like I said, dude, I'm intrigued by this dude. This guy, you have my attention, sir. You have my attention. So, that's funny. Yeah, no, I like it. I like the Duggar pick. I'm not even fuck. I can't focus on draft value because that's not my job. My job, I want to look at the picks. I want to evaluate the player. I like the player. Straight up, I like the player. I think um I I am extremely intrigued by this player. I'm actually I'm excited about Jaden Duggar. I mean, again, the more and more I watch, I'm like, holy crap, dude, he might be a gem. Again, I gotta watch more. But dude, um all right, I'm watching Jaden Duggar's highlights versus Mizzou right now. So against a big time SEC school, looks like he's doing pretty well. Yeah, I like this pick. I like this pick a lot. This might be one of my favorite picks of the draft. Oh, they showing him off the edge? No. Oh, okay. 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 So all the clips that I've been watching him, he's off-ball linebacker. In this very last rep, they have him as a stand-up defensive end. He looks like a D end. Keep in mind, 6'4", 240 pounds. He fits the mold of a defensive end. Oh, he just hit him with a quick. He just hit the tackle with a little whoop and got right around the edge as a pure pass rusher. I love this pick more. Look at the hater in the chat trying to convince himself like you're some sort of expert. Can guarantee I know more ball than you got on your little pinky finger, bruh. I know so much more ball than you, bro. It's not even funny. And this isn't convincing myself. This is legitimate. Like this might be one of my favorite picks of this class. I like this. So the way that I look at this is just pure raw potential. This to me, so the same concepts that I was talking about with Harold Perkins Jr. of this hybrid defender. Is he a linebacker? Is he an edge? Can he be a safety? Is he a star player? Is he a nickel? That's what this guy is. Like this guy is that type of that type of dude. And the fact that he just showed that he can rush off the edge looking like a straight up defensive end, that's crazy to me. That is crazy to me. Ooh. I'm extremely intrigued by this pick. My apologies. My apologies. I thought I was catching strays in the chat. I'm just saying, be careful. Be careful when you're coming at me. You best not miss. I'll put my ball knowledge against people who get paid millions of dollars to do this for a living. That's how confident I am. Hey, I thought he was talking shit to me. Kilgore went to the Bills. Dude, I like this pick, bruh. I like this pick. I like this pick. Ooh, I like this pick. Okay. Think about it. Think about defensive coordinator. Think about Raheem Morris going after someone like James Pierce, Jalen Walker. So the way that I'm looking at Duggar, he's like a hybrid of them both. He has the frame, a little bit slimmer, but has a frame of Pierce, but has the athletic traits similar, not as high end, but similar to Jalen Walker. Could he be used as an edge? So this, to me, what this is the vision. So this is the vision I had for Jalen Walker, is to be a hybrid linebacker edge. The 49ers obviously went Michael Williams. That's fine. To me, he's a very pigeonholed player at what he's capable of. The reason I like Jalen Walker was his versatility to rush the edge or be an off-ball linebacker and do them both simultaneously. Now, the 49ers just drafted someone who is a converted safety to off-ball linebacker who now could potentially rush the passer. So I like this pick. I'm loving this pick. Do I think the 49ers are going to a 3-4? I mean, to me, he looks like he could absolutely be a 3-4 outside linebacker for sure. Like, he could absolutely be an outside linebacker. Especially too if you get him in the mix as start training him as a rusher. Absolutely. Yeah, I could 100% see that. Oh, such a Steelers player that they got at tight end. Yeah, no, I'm hyped. This might be my favorite pick, which I was not expecting. Let me be honest. Let me keep it a buck with you real quick. When the name was announced, Jaden Duggar, and he did not have a draft profile on one of the leading draft sites, the NFL.com has nothing on him, and they have him graded as candidate for bottom of roster or practice squad and is discussed as a UDFA. I did not think I was going to like this pick. Full transparency. I thought I was going to be like, oh, here we go. It's going to be just some I don't know. I love this pick. This might be my favorite pick right now. I'm excited to dive into him more. Because the more and more and more I'm getting into this, I think this guy's up. What do they say? What do they say? What's the best compliment you could give these guys? He's a football player. He's a football player. Don't know where he's going to play. Off ball, edge, safety, nickel. This dude's a baller. I am very excited about this. I am thrilled about this. I went from being extremely skeptical to the moon about this pick. This is my kind of guy. I'm excited about this pick. I think this is my favorite pick of the draft. This went from, "Oh, no, what did we just do?" to, "I'm turned up right now." I am very excited about this. Woo! Alright. I fully accept this draft selection at where he was taken. Fully. So I fully accept it. I'm not even gonna call this a reach anymore. Phenomenal pick. Great pick. Great pick. I love this pick. I think this is sick. I'm super excited about this player. I love it. I love this pick. Now this pick, the Jaden Duggar pick, this feels like some old school John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan 2017, 2019 Magic, 2018 Magic. That's what this feels like. It feels like, okay, you saw something, you went and got your guy, and yeah, I want to see this too. I want to see what he's not good at as well. Um, but yes, I'm thrilled. I love this pick. I love this pick. How old is he? Okay. How old is Jaden though? Before I get crazy excited. Hopefully he's not 26 years old. He is a senior. 22. He's 22. I love it even more. 22. Let's go. He's not 47. I love it. Stamped. Stamped favorite. This is my favorite draft pick right here. Yeah, this is my favorite draft pick right now. I want to put this guy on the edge. I want to put him on the edge. I want this guy to play edge. Can we put him on the edge? That's where I want him. Ooh. Now this is a good pick. I like this pick. I'm very happy with this pick. Still early, but so far, yeah, I'm for it. I'm for it. I went from being extremely skeptical of this pick to this might be my favorite pick. Not my, it is. I'm turned, baby. Let's go. Hey, hey, they do say it doesn't matter where you're drafted. Doesn't matter where you're drafted. Someone just has to have a vision for you. Someone just has to have a vision for you. I see the vision. I see it immediately. Oh, dude, you're telling me this dude could potentially be an edge rusher for us? This dude has prototypical edge size. This dude has Brian Burns edge size. Like, he has Malachi Lawrence measurables, but he can play off-ball linebacker. But what if you put him on the edge? I am intrigued by this pick. Oh my gosh, I love this pick. I don't care if you don't like it. I like this pick. Hell yeah. So now, like, so I have this thing, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like when I talk about like scouting players, um, but no, Duggar ran a 4.6, my guy. At least what I saw. There's no way in hell he runs slower than an offensive guard. Um, I don't know how to explain it, and it probably comes across as like egotistical, and I don't mean it to come across that way at all. Um, but there's like this trigger that is like I call it the it factor. Like, I just watch a player and it's just like I know that this player is a special player. For example, when I put on Malachi Lawrence's tape and he was projected at the time to be a 5th, 6th rounder, like I was just like, "Oh yeah, this is a guy." Like, I don't know how, like, obviously we can look at the tape and the measurables and you can use all that logic, but there's just something, same thing that happened with me with George Kittle. Like, there's just something. Same thing that happened with me with Brian Burns. There's just something that it's like, that's a dude. That's a legit guy. Now, doesn't always pan out, but the fact that like I'm watching this guy and like my bells and whistles are going off, like, oh, this looks like a guy. um I'm excited about it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited for it. I'm And I didn't think I was gonna like it either. That's the best part too. I didn't think I was gonna like his tape. I was like, I'm gonna be upset going into this. Who did we just draft? Who did we just reach on? So I went in pessimistic. And the fact that I'm out over here now, I think this might be my favorite pick right now. Um, yeah, I'm excited about this player. Again, we still it's I'm not declaring him all pro. Um, but there's 100% potential for this guy. And we'll see what that is. But yeah, I like that pick. So the 49ers are almost back on the clock. It'll be interesting to see where they go. I believe this is the last pick in the NFL draft for them. All right. I'm happy, man. All right, let's switch gears. Did I like Nick Martin? I like Nick Martin as like a sixth rounder. I mocked Nick Martin to the 49ers. I talked about Nick Martin coming out of Oklahoma State. I liked him. I liked him as a sixth rounder. If you watched me last year, you knew I was banging the table for Teddy Buchanan. He was drafted by the Ravens. I think he had 93 total tackles. Started as a rookie before going down with injury. So I liked Nick Martin. Again, same theme for like a sixth round pick. Um, not as a third rounder. And like I said, I felt Teddy Buchanan was a better linebacker. I think Teddy Buchanan proved that early. Now we'll see if that actually occurs in the long run when we look at their career. Obviously, tough for Buchanan to have the ACL tear that he had at the end of the year. But yeah, I mean, I like the player. Thought it was a reach. So, um, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes moving forward. Um, but yeah, 49ers are up here really quickly. Right? This is the last pick they have. All right. My boy Jack Andrews, I think, is still on the board, but I don't think the 49ers are going there. All right. So they've addressed running back, offensive line, wide receiver, tight end still remains. They've gone edge, defensive tackle, linebacker, cornerback. Really, the only spots that they haven't addressed is really tight end and safety. So, could this be the tight end pick? I don't know. I don't think they're going to go offensive line. Uh, let's see. Could they go? What they might go punter. The Georgia punter is available, Brett Thorson. All right, where are we at? Where are we at? Ooh, Hezekiah Massis to the Raiders. Good for him. I like Zeke Massis. I talked about him at the beginning of the stream. Cal player, got to watch him last year. I like that pick for them. I like that pick for them. All right. This is it. What position do you think that the Niners are going to go with right here? Pick 179. Pretty sure this is the last pick that they have in this draft. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised if they went with a punter here. I'm not all at all advocating for them to go punter. I want that to be clear. Um, I like Matt Gulbin, Michigan State center. Obviously, Jack Endries is still on the board. Um, Michael Trigg is still on the board. They had him in for a 30 visit. They also had Jack Endries in for the local pro day. They obviously went wide receiver and running back already. So obviously, what you have to keep in mind is if I believe this is the 49ers' last pick. This might also be a potential reach. Just because they don't have any other picks in the rest of this draft. So if there's anyone that they like from here to the 7th round, they are going to be, I would say, up for potential to be drafted. So I would say out of any of the picks that they have, this is the one that I'm least worried about reaching on. Funny enough. So if they reach, I understand why. It's because they've identified a prospect and they don't have any other picks in the draft. So I would say with this pick, take your guy. We know they're going to do that. I don't have to, I don't have to act like this is something new. They're going to take their guy here, regardless of what consensus says. But what I'm saying is this is the spot where it's completely acceptable. Let me see. I'm just going through the list of available guys. If they go safety, I really like Cole Wisniewski. He's another long, rangy player out of Texas Tech. I thought he was solid in the Shrine Bowl. So if they go safety, like a true safety, he's an interesting guy to me. Let's see. I'm scrolling through some of these names here. Let's see. Jalen Stroman at safety, a little bit more of a smaller safety, which is kind of aligned with some of the guys that we have currently. Let's see. Where are the 49ers? Okay, so the pick is in for the Dolphins. Philadelphia is on the clock. 49ers are on deck. So pick is coming up here. And again, a dart throw. Yeah, so we'll see, man. We'll see where they go with this one. Let's see. Looking at best available right now. Let me see who the NFL has as their best available player. Let me see. Defensive tackle Xavier Harris. Oh, he's huge. 6'7", 330 pounds. So far, he is listed as the best available player on their board. After that is Duke center Brian Parker. After that is Miami guard Arnez Cooper, offensive tackle Demetrius Crownover, wide receiver Dion Burks, safety VJ Payne. That could be an interesting one. Another long, rangy safety who has a lot of experience out of Kansas State, who tested insanely well. All right. This is it. The final pick. The San Francisco 49ers are on the clock. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Alex Harkey on the board. Jack Endries. Diego Pounds. I thought he was drafted. So Jack Endries is up there with best available. Mason Rieger. I like him as an edge prospect. All right. Who we going? Get your final predictions in. I want injuries, but I'm not predicting that's who they're going to take. Um, the Eagles took a quarterback. Interesting. Kevin says I'm done predicting who we're going to pick because it's never right. Facts. It's more of just an exercise. All right, let's see what we get, man. Oh, all right. Any minute now. All right. Pick is in. The pick is in, baby. So this is the pick that the 49ers gave up for Omar Cooper Jr. Or this is the pick that they got to give up selecting Omar Cooper Jr. So let's see who it is. Let's see who it is. The pick is in. We are just waiting for it to come across. Any second now, we will find out who the 49ers are taking with their final pick in the 2026 draft. 5th round, 179th overall. A very polarizing draft class, to say the least. So far, from what we've seen, I like day 3 the best. Oh, another offensive lineman. And this is one of they're taking Kansas offensive line Enrique Cruz Jr. So one of Dominic Pooney's former teammate. San Francisco spend it on an offensive line. Not going to lie, kind of surprised that they went O-line here. Really surprised they went O-line here. I do remember seeing a couple clips of him. Because I know people were kind of mentioning him after Pooney was drafted. I think mentioning him last year, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. I need to watch. I'll give you my first impression of this player, but surprised that the 49ers went with another offensive lineman. All right, making my post, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, Kansas State offensive lineman Enrique Cruz Jr. He didn't play with Pooney. Fair enough. Then I'm not thinking about the right person. Enrique Cruz Jr. Let's see. He's rated as a good backup with potential to be a develop into a starter. 6'5", 313 pounds, 33 and 3/4 inch arms, 10 and a quarter inch hands, 4.94, 40-yard dash, 174, 10-yard split, 35-inch vertical jump, 9.8 broad jump. So not bad. He started his career at Syracuse in 2021 where he redshirted. Then he played in 8 games with 5 let's see. He started his final 5 games of the season, 3 at right tackle, 2 at left tackle. Then in 2023, he started all games at left tackle. And then he got benched in 2024. And then in 2025, he started all 12 games for Kansas at right tackle, where he actually earned honorable mention All Big 12 Conference. He was projected to be a 5th round pick, and this is the write-up. Cruz is a big, burly right tackle prospect with outstanding length, but athletic limitations. Cruz isn't twitchy, but he does flash explosive power when he uncorks heavy hands and upper body power to knock opponents off balance. Tight hips brings tall pads, which rob him of leverage as a drive blocker at the point. He plays with good slide quickness out to the rush, but struggles to redirect against inside moves. And his anchor is slightly below average when challenged by a bull rush. His size, power, and length could attract teams on day 3, but sticking long term will be tough. Oh, it's not the best write up, but let's see. Now let's go to the clips. Enrique Cruz Jr. I mean, just based off the write up, it doesn't. Ew. Yeah, that's a guard. He does not own a kick step. He pass blocks at tackle like a center. I mean, first impression is he has good size. I can't show the clips or the YouTube will nerf me. He shows good size. He tests well. That's got to be a guard. That's got to be a guard. There's no way that. I mean, they can try him at tackle. That's a guard. I mean, his RAS score is insane. He has a 9.99 RAS score. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, he's not a tackle. He can't pass set. He has no natural vertical set. at all. Like not like, and that's interesting because I felt Dominic Pooney was very similar as a tackle. He didn't have a natural kick step, so that was one of the reasons why I'm like that. Pooney to me looks like a guard, or he is a guard. Um, because like I mentioned earlier when we were talking about the other offensive linemen they took, if you don't have a clean natural pass vertical set, you can't be a tackle in the offensive line. It's just not going to work. So yeah, this guy's a guard for sure. Um, so we'll see, man. Um, but I don't see him as a tackle. Like right out the gate, uh, do not see him as a tackle. Um, so this is an interesting one because he is absolutely a guard. He has, I mean, his RAS score is third overall out of nearly 1,900 offensive guard prospects. His RAS score is crazy, but I wouldn't say that I see that same agility on tape. I Again, I got to watch more. So we can agree right out the gate he's a guard. Good size. Pad levels high. I don't know about this pick. I don't know about this one. I like the other offensive line pick much better than this one. He is very high pad level. His base is questionable. And again, these I'm watching highlights. Keep in mind. Um, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see how I like the first initial gut reaction from the film is meh. Like really meh. Um so we'll see. He's not my kind of offensive lineman. I'll tell you that right out the gate. Um I have a type for sure. Um yeah, I don't love it. We'll see though. We'll see. Um so all right, let's take a look at the overall class. No tight end in this one. The San Francisco 49ers started the draft by trading back twice. They get Stribling out of Ole Miss with pick 33. Again, I think there's upside there. I think, again, the problem with the perception is he's perceived to be a reach based on consensus value. But I think there is some upside there. We'll see what it turns into. I did feel that there were better prospects on the board at wide receiver so far, but we'll see how it pans out. The San Francisco 49ers then took Romello Height in the third round with pick 70. Romello, I like his skill set. The only thing I don't like about Romello is his age and maybe some of the injuries that he had in previous stops, but I like the player. I think he's a phenomenal pass rusher. Then the 49ers take Kalon Black with the 90th pick. I love the player. Feels like they could have got him later. So the value of where he was drafted comes into play. But overall, I like the player a lot. I think he'll be good with us. I think hopefully he will break the mold of previous third round draft picks that the 49ers have taken at running back. So I'm curious to see what he turns into. Thought he was pretty solid. Then today started off by taking Grayson Halton with the 107 pick. I like this pick because he adds some juice to the interior pass rush. Which is I do think something that they needed. They take Carver Willis, who to me, as I've mentioned, is a guard, and I think has upside as a guard. I think he's not a perfect prospect just yet, but I do think there are things for him to improve and get better at. I do like what I've seen so far from Willis, but we'll have to look into more tape with him. Ephesians Prysock, who the 49ers took in the fourth round at pick 139. I also like this pick. I like the value of this pick. I think that he has starting potential and upside, and he also has some versatility that he could potentially be a safety. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. I think my favorite pick of the draft so far is Jaden Duggar, linebacker, fifth round pick, 154th out of Louisiana. I like this pick because I think there's a lot to unpack here. I think that this guy could potentially be a diamond for sure. He's raw. He's kind of he's a converted safety to off-ball linebacker, and then also I do see potential edge qualities on Jaden Duggar, and I'm fascinated to see what the 49ers do with him. The 49ers rounded out the draft with Enrique Cruz Jr., who to me is also a guard. So my first impression of him is kind of mediocre. So we'll see once I do a little bit more deep dive into him. But overall, now that we see, I would say the best day of the draft for the 49ers was day 3. I do think they made some questionable decisions in regards to value on day 1 and day 2. Overall, I think this class has potential, but I don't think we're going to look at it out the gate and say it's a home run hitter. To me, this feels feels more like a double if we're gonna go baseball terms. Feels like it feels like an average draft, probably C. I'm curious to know what you guys would grade this draft. I think today, and based on how much I like Jaden Duggar, probably going to bump my grade up to a C plus. Because I do like Jaden Duggar. I do like Ephesians Prysock. I think Carver Willis has potential as an interior offensive lineman, and I do think Grayson Halton has interior. Like those, I could see those 4 guys starting for the 49ers one day. Obviously, along with Stribling, I could definitely see him start in about a year or two. And then Romello Height, I think he's going to be in the rotation year 1. Big question mark on Kalen Black. Big question mark on Enrique Cruz. So looking at the whole thing, probably going to say we have a C plus. But I'm sure that my grade will differ much more from what you guys believe, which I am curious to know what you think. So drop your grades in the chat of what you think. But yeah, I think about a C plus. I'll give it a C plus just because I really like the Jaden Duggar pick for sure. So not bad. Not too bad. All right. Shout out to you guys. That's another draft in the books. Crazy. I think we've been doing this in some versions since 2021. No, I did this on Instagram first, I think in like 2018. So I think it's a CC plus draft and has potential to be better. We'll see what it looks like in training camp. So we'll see. And that's just my honest opinion on this draft. I'm not as doom and gloom on it as a lot of people are. I understand the negative feedback that this draft has had, and I get it. But I don't think it's that crazy. I think they saved it with their day 3, some of their day 3 picks. Like I said, I think a couple picks there in the 4th and 5th round, I think could be pretty solid. So definitely a C grade isn't a great grade for coming out of a draft. So we'll see what it comes out to in the end. Obviously, can't truly grade a draft until it is all said and done, about 2 to 3 years out. So we'll see what comes of this. We'll see if any gems come from this, and if Jaden Duggar, what can he become? We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm all right with it. We'll see how it goes. Not the best, not the worst. So let's see. So shout out to you guys. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. I'll be making videos and content. I'm going to try to do full breakdowns on all of these prospects, showing tape. I'll post that to the channel, and we'll go from there. Shout out to y'all. I'm out. Grab your cookies on the way out. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to